All right, this is the review for quiz number 13. And we're going to talk a little bit about scripts and improvisation and some stuff like that. So the first question has to do with that not all scenes need to have a script. A script is usually a pretty good idea, but there are lots of improvisational movies and television shows, maybe. I mean, sort of there are unscripted television shows, reality shows, and that sort of thing that we can have a fun discussion of how much they are scripted. But you don't always need a script. Okay, so why do we do multiple takes of the same scene? And that's to give the editor some different choices, usually of acting or sometimes of these different lines. And this kind of goes into the next thing. It makes me think of those Judd Apatow movies where it seems like they have a few scenes where he'll write a joke or two and they'll record that, but then they let the actors improvise. And so they do 10 or 20 takes of different jokes along the same line. And then at the end of the movie, they can cut those all together and you can see different versions that didn't make the final cut, but that was what they were doing. Which goes along with this next thing. Okay, so the last chance to rewrite the script is in post-production, even after everything has been recorded and filmed and the actors have done what they needed to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be cut together that way, right? And those things can be repurposed and reused and moved in different ways. And that just made me think of in some of these newer Star Wars movies, right? They're taking old video and audio from the 1980s Star Wars movies and repurposing them into these new movies as flashbacks and sounds of cheer in the background and those sorts of things. But the next thing, before you begin shooting, there are too many things to list, but I have there to find your locations, know where you're going to be shooting, rehearse your actors, and then do a storyboard, right? Those are the pictures that we talked about, showing the different shots and what's going to be seen in those. And then we're going to end somewhat close to where we started, in that even if you do have a script, you do not always need to have every word be exactly the same. Exactly what was written in the script. The actor doesn't necessarily have to say those things. Now there's some directors, usually the ones that are that also write their movies, that can be very protective of their dialogue and the words that say, and then they want exactly all of the words to be exactly right. And there are other situations where, maybe if it's famous or maybe if it's Shakespeare, right? Because Shakespeare has to do with the meter of all of the words and sometimes the rhymes, right? Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, if we had a Hamlet and he came out and he said, "Being or not being, that is what I ponder," right? Now it's the same idea, but we would all know those are the wrong words. But still, to go back to review, every word does not have to be what was in the script in most movies. Okay, thank you very much.